Hey everyone, this is Will Dorsey Jr. of Talk Music Podcast. And my next guest is a cool dude that, that I met back in 2021 and didn't know that we came from the same area, which is Baltimore, Maryland. And I just knew that we were just going to be friends and just going to be cool. This guy's name is Jamie Miller, drummer for Bad Religion and Snot. I didn't know he was the drummer for Snot. So that was the other cool thing about it, that he was part of that. So please, everyone, please welcome Jamie Miller.
Welcome to Talk Music with Will Dorsey Jr.
Every month,
Our host Will is going to interview musicians from around the world and talk everything music. Our listeners range from professionals to recreational musicians who want to learn more about the industry, their instruments, and the community of top musicians. So join us, subscribe, and keep up with Talk Music.
visit us on www.talkmusicpodcast.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download our podcast on Apple, Google, Amazon, and Spotify.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, eRecordStudio, the new way musicians rehearse, record, and share their eRecord sessions on social media. Visit ERS on eRecordStudio.com. Download this amazing app on Google and Apple Apps stores.
Jamie Miller, what's up,
Buddy.
dude?
How you doing, man?
You don't mind getting it started right now, do you?
Oh, go for it. Jump right in.
Is that cool? Okay.
Do it.
I'm gonna go back a little bit when we first met. I think Bad Religion was, I don't know, on the same bill as The Offspring when I was teching for The Offspring. And I think we got to sit and talk finally, because I've never met you.
Yeah. I want to
And
say it was Manchester, maybe.
it might
I
have
remember
been.
we were sitting at catering. I remember that.
Oh man, wasn't there like a big dinner? Like,
Yeah, like they had the catering was set up like in sort of like the pit at the venue.
oh yeah,
Yeah, like
no,
we were all just hanging out like in front of the stage, like having chow.
But yeah, I was just, like, it was just so interesting, like just talking with you. And wow, I can't even really believe I forgot your text name back then.
Shakes.
Shakes,
Greg's
man.
the famous
Shakes
Shakes
the
is now
man.
on loan to the Deftones.
Oh, is he really?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah,
man, that's awesome. That's awesome,
totally.
man. Man, I want to get to, like the story that you were telling me, you know, and I don't know, it just seemed like it was um like everything just fell in, and I was like, man, I said, why do I like this guy? And like, it's like, man, this dude's really cool. I'm like, like, because I saw you before in the way you were playing. I was like, man, this dude's sick. Where did he get this dude from? Like when you first got into to Bad Religion, and I mean,
Right.
it was the first time for me watching you with Bad Religion. Can you like can you tell like us to like how'd you got into Bad Religion? How did that all worked out?
How did I get into the band, you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
At the time, I was playing in the band And You Know Us by the Trail of Dead. We had just finished a tour with Failure. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah. And I had come back from the tour, and a really good buddy of mine who actually played drums in another band that I have with my wife called theStart, this guy, Ed Davis, he forget exactly how he was involved. I don't remember exactly, but he had sent me a text going, "Hey, did you hear that Brooks bounced from Bad Religion?" and he knew that me and Brooks sort of knew each other
All
from
right.
back in the day. We lived near each other too.
Okay.
I was like, no, I didn't hear that. He's like, yeah, Brooks is bouncing. And he like jokingly said, you should go play for the band. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Like Brooks is an old friend. I hadn't talked to Brooks in a while, but
Right.
Brooks is the only guy in the band I actually knew.
Right.
I'd
Oh
never met
man.
the guys in Bad Religion before. I knew Brooks. Fast forward to I have another side project called Vanishing Life with Zach from Rise Against. So Zach and I were having like a talk about some upcoming recording thing or whatever.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, by the way, aren't you good friends with Brian Baker? He's like, yeah. I'm like, did Brooks quit BR? He's like, yeah. He's like, do you want to go try out for them? I'm like, well, okay, sure. And he's like, I'm calling Brian right now. And he hung up on me. So I get like an email like the next day from, at the time, Kathy Mason was their tour manager. She emails going, I just got your name from a mutual friend. You want to come down and jam with Bad Religion? I'm like, sure. So she gave me a time and a place and a list of songs. And I went and jammed with Jay and Brian with Brett sitting in the room with a laptop. I thought he was playing chess. I
Oh.
learned later he was taking notes.
Okay. All right.
So I
All
went
right.
and jammed with the guys. We actually had a really good time, just a fun time, the three of us with Brett. And then we kind of all went our separate ways. And it was sort of like a sort of an impromptu, like I think they tried out a couple of people like that got suggested by friends, like let's just test the waters. And then we all kind of went our separate ways. About a month later, I get another text from Kathy going, hey, can you come down for one more jam? I'm like, sure, not thinking like
Mm.
anything about it. This time it was full band. And we jammed again, the same set. And then afterwards, it's like, all right, see you guys later. Nice to meet you all. That was fun. And I go out to my car. It was at Mate's rehearsal studio. You know the place,
Okay. Yep.
the parking lot there. So then I'm getting in, all of a sudden Brett comes running out and bangs on my window. I was like, hey, Brett, thanks for having me down. That was fun. He's like, I don't want you leaving here before I tell you you're my guy. I'm like,
Oh.
well, that's cool. He's like, just don't. I don't want you to leave here and think like this was weird. Like you're my guy. And I was like, okay. And he's like, cool. See you later. And then just walked away.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So then, I'd say I think they tried out a couple more friends and people that we all know from the punk scene. And then
Hmm.
another week later, I get a text from Zach Blair from Rise Against It again going, dude, congrats. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, congrats on the BR gig. I'm like, I haven't heard from anybody in that band. And he just types, oh shit. And then there was a bunch of like, on the iPhone, there's like the dot, dot, dot. Just
Right.
that bubble sat there for like ever. Like,
Oh.
because he was just trying to probably figure out, like, oh God, I just blew it.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I haven't heard from those dudes. And he just, oh shit. And then dot, dot, dot.
Oh, man.
Like probably later that day, I got a call from Jay Bentley going, hey, the job's yours if you want it. I'm like,
Right.
sounds good to me, buddy.
Wow.
So it was sort of like a weird, like I didn't know the guys. I didn't hear there was like some big audition thing. It was just sort of mutual friends went, hey, you should try out. Hey, I'm gonna put you forward. And I'm like, whatever, I'm in a band, like whatever. And then I went and jammed. That
Yeah.
was fun. Jammed again. That was fun. But then Brett was like, you're my guy. Okay. What does that mean? And then here I am.
Wow. Man, that's a great story, man.
Yeah,
That's
the
pretty
best part though was Zach going, congrats. I'm like, what are you talking about? I remember it distinctly because me and my wife Amy were out in Irvine at a dog park with our dog.
Right.
And it was like, hey, Zach's texting. He's like, congrats. I'm like, congrats on the dog? Like, what's
All
he
right.
like, congrats on the gig. I'm like, what?
Oh, oh man. That's crazy, man. Man, I want to go back to that dinner as well. But you were telling me, like it's like about your playing, and I was wondering where you got your playing style from and what, like what area you came from, and didn't realize that we're both from Baltimore.
Right.
I'm like, what? You're from what? You're from Baltimore as well? What?
Like,
What's going on here?
I know. Baltimore is like the smallest place, but like you really get into it, and there's always somebody
Yeah.
in the scene from there, or it's weird. There's always weird connections to that town. And it's great.
Man, but the other thing that you blew my mind on, that you were also the drummer for Snot.
Yes.
How did that? I was like, okay, oh my, what is going on here?
All right, so you're asking influence, and I'll
Yes.
take it from the beginning. So growing up
Okay.
in Baltimore,
Okay.
I'm sure you did too. We all knew who Shannon Larkin was. We all saw
Yes.
Grouch Out America. Shannon
Yep.
Larkin was the dude.
Yep.
So I'd go to Hammerjacks and sneak in and see Rothschild play, and I'd always sit up in there was like an overlook over the
Yes.
stage. You could watch the drummer. So I would just sit up there and just stare at Shannon playing all the time.
Okay. Were you on the left hand side or the right hand side?
Usually in the center, like right above where there was that
Oh,
little peek hole. You can look
yes.
right down over the drummer if they hadn't hung a backdrop. And
Right.
Rothschild never hung a backdrop until their 3D tour. Then they got that big 3D cover backdrop, so you couldn't watch behind Shannon. But I would sit behind Shannon and watch him play.
Right.
So I had a band growing up called Mary Suicide, Mary, not Merry Christmas, but Mary Suicide.
Okay. All right.
And we were kind of, high school kids, but started doing pretty good around Baltimore. And then we were working in the studio with this guy, Drew Mazurek. And he was,
Oh,
Drew. There
I
you
know
go.
Drew. Yeah.
Yeah, I've known Drew forever. Good Lord.
Wow.
So we
Okay.
were doing demos with Drew, and Drew was like, "Hey, Brad from Wrathchild, the singer, wants to get into production, and he wants to know if it'd be cool if he came down and like just sat in and co-produced with me while I'm doing your guys' demo." We're like, "Sure, we love Wrathchild." I mean, we were more of like a grungy Jane's Addiction kind of band, but we're like, "Oh, we love Wrathchild. That'd be cool."
Mhm.
So Brad comes in, starts producing our demos, and that turns into, "You guys should play some shows with us." Well, that never materialized, but Shannon had a side project called MF Pitbulls that he was the singer in, and his drum tech was the drummer. So we threw MF Pitbulls on a Mary Suicide gig, and Shannon and his band watched us play, and apparently they went, "We need to get that guy to be our drummer." And meanwhile, I'm like a kid that's just like, Shannon's like the dude.
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
holy, we'll have Shannon's band play with us. That's cool. So like that night after the show, Shannon's like, "Be the drummer in my side project." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like 15, 16 years old or whatever. Of course I'll play in your side project.
Right. Okay.
Um, so about a year into doing that, Shannon gets the Ugly Kid Joe offer. Shannon goes,
Mm.
"I'm going to take Ugly Kid Joe and I'm going to have you take over Wrathchild / Souls at Zero for me if the guys will
What?
have you." I'm like, "Okay." So I went and jammed with the guys, took over for Shannon and Souls at Zero. Shannon goes to Santa Barbara, joins Ugly Kid Joe, meets Mikey Doling from Snot. And then Mikey Doling's like, "I need to put a band together for this band idea I have." And Shannon's like, "I know the perfect guys. It's all the guys from MF Pitbulls."
Oh.
So myself, Toomer, the bass player John, and Sonny Mayo were all in MF Pitbulls, all at different periods and over the course of like a year or two, went out to Santa Barbara and joined Snot, put Snot together. That's how that became a band.
What? Wow.
Weird.
Man. So what made you move from Baltimore though?
Honestly, back to MF Pitbulls, I was in Souls at Zero.
All right.
Shannon got a small record deal for us to make an MF Pitbulls record, but he was living in Santa Barbara. So he's like, "I want to make this record, but we got to do it in Santa Barbara because it's got a nice little studio. I'm getting a good deal." I'm like, "Cool." So we got
Mm.
off tour, flew out to Santa Barbara, made the record with Shannon, and then two of the guys in MF Pitbulls were now at this point in Snot with a different drummer, and they were playing the Whiskey a Go Go one night. So
Mm.
you should come check out our band. Like I would love to. Meanwhile, sidebar to that story, for about a year prior to that, I was getting phone calls from Lynn and Mikey and John probably once a week. "Come join our band. Leave your shitty Baltimore band and come join our band." But meanwhile, Soul Zero is like a signed touring band.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to leave my thing that's touring, for this unknown band in Santa Barbara.
Right.
They sent me demos. They were great, but I was like, I don't get it. Whatever. They got a dumb name. I don't get it. So I go to Santa Barbara, do this record, go down to the Whiskey with them, watch their show. And I watched their show, even with their old drummer. Their old drummer, by the way, was really good.
Right.
There's just certain people that don't have the vibe, that just don't quite fit. I just
Yeah.
think personality wise, he didn't fit. Great drummer, creative drummer. They called
Mm.
him Fed. It's like a big muscular prison graduate. His nickname was Corn Fed, so they called him Fed.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I think that kind of lent itself to the personality clash. Like he was kind of like a, big
Uh,
kind of tough guy.
that
Great
sucks.
drummer, killer creative drummer, but
Right.
watched him play and got it. I was
Mm.
I understand what this band's doing. Like that's really like from hearing their demos to seeing them play, I understood. So I jumped back in the car after the show. Me and Sonny are driving from LA back up to Santa Barbara. And I just went, I think I'll do it. And he didn't even ask, like, he knew exactly what I was saying. He's just like, awesome. So I went home, packed up my car with my girlfriend at the time, and we drove out to Santa Barbara.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Damn.
just
Okay.
screw it. I'm going to do it. And we didn't, the Snot didn't have a record deal at the time, didn't
Right.
have a tour, but I understood what they were doing. So I was like, screw it. Let's just roll the dice and go for it. So we did it.
Wow. So how did Snot just keep on like building that record, that title record?
When I joined, they had probably 75% of the record written.
Okay.
They were demoing around town. They were playing shows with everybody. They were already kind of like making a lot of noise in LA. By the time I got out here, I think there was already two record deals offered. Um, but they were just kind of waiting for the right, I think they were waiting to see if I would come join and the right management and that whole thing.
Mm,
But yeah, they were already making some noise before I even got there. Like they were well on their way. And they would have been doing stuff had I joined or not. They would have been signed and out there
right.
dealing with their old drummer. I mean, they may have broken up faster, but they still would have done something even with their old drummer. Like I said, he was a great drummer, killer drummer.
Right.
Just,
Wow.
for whatever reason it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out.
Right. Oh wow, man. And so how long were you in that band before? So what happened after Snot?
After Snot, we finished Ozfest in '98. We came home from tour. We were gonna take a break. And I sort of like was kind of burnt. And I had started a side project with my wife Amy.
Okay.
And we had this idea like, all right, let's do this side project thing. And I kind of proposed that to the band. Well, not to the band, to some people adjacent to the band at first, and they weren't having that. So kind of a little falling out to where I kind of quit the band.
Hmm.
Um, but I kind of intended like, maybe I'll go back. Well, this is just like I need a break from these yahoos, and everybody's being weird, clash personalities, blah blah blah.
Right.
But then our singer passed away about
Oh,
4 weeks later after that went down. He got into a car crash up in Santa Barbara and passed
oh,
away.
that's right.
Yeah. So I was in the band for about 2.5 years. Think
Right.
about, yeah, I think mid '96 to the end of '98.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, man. That's man.
Yeah. It was
What
fast. Everything was really fast.
right.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Man, would you so in that break time you were with your wife
Yeah, we
in
had a band called theStart.
to start.
Yeah.
So I heard that you play guitar.
I did. I played guitar in that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you played guitar.
I mean, not to sound like that, but there's not a lot of things I can't play. I'm one of
R-
those guys. Come from
Damn.
a family that learned that family are all musicians. There's
Okay.
instruments everywhere. It's like, here, play this. Okay. And you figure it out. So,
Wow. You know
yeah.
you know what also impressed me about your playing is like your ability to sing as well.
Yeah, it was part of the
Like
gig.
do you do that with your wife's band too or
Yeah, I sung the backgrounds and stuff like that. Same as I do in BR.
all right, okay. Man, I didn't man, that blew my mind, like your playing style, like I mean, but who else did you get into, playing wise, like what made you start playing drums in the first place?
Oh man. Well, coming from a family of musicians, and this is the truth, I don't remember not playing drums. Like I have no memory of not being behind a drum set at some point. My dad says I started when I was 3.
All right, okay.
Like he had a band, and apparently I got up on the kit during a break and started playing. They were apparently him and my uncle were trying to figure out a tune, and all of a sudden the drums came in, and they turned around. It was 3-year-old son on the drums. They're like, "Whoa!" Apparently we just played the song, but I honestly have no memory of not having drums in my life. Like I never learned. I never had proper education other than being in the middle school band in middle school, playing the snare drum.
Right. Okay. Man,
But
so you just did it through
yeah.
school and all that and
Always
whatnot.
played drums. But once I realized that I love drums, like I was, I grew up in the era where it's like I love the Stuart Copelands, the Terry
Hmm.
Bozzio's. I love
Yes.
Budgie from Susie and the Banshees drummer. Budgie is probably my favorite.
Right.
But then like growing up in Baltimore, once I got old enough I could go out and see bands, there was Shannon Larkin,
Mm.
guy John Allen from Child's Play, was killer drummer, local.
John is I didn't know you knew John.
Yeah, I know John.
Damn.
Baby's
Okay.
the new band Stone Horses rips.
Oh, really? I
Oh
haven't
my God,
checked
it's
it
so
out.
good. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a new
Man.
band. They're great. Check it out.
Okay, okay, I will. I will. Man, I didn't know you knew John.
Yeah, I know.
John was one of the other first people that had a ripping voice as well.
Yeah, John's a killer. I mean, he's a
Um,
front man now in his band. He's the front man. He's a great singer.
damn.
Yeah, but he was a
Man,
killer drummer back then. Like, dude, I
right.
loved watching Child's Play, you know? That's great.
Man, I oh
See?
man. You just
Baltimore,
name
dude.
you're right. You just naming these Baltimore bands, man. They're like, okay, all right.
Ever see
But
Mystic Force? Chris Lembeck, the drummer?
yes, yeah.
Chris was killer. Chris is great. Dude, great freaking drummer. And we both know Sean Hughes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Sean's
Man,
one of the
Sean's a
best ever.
yeah, Sean's a beast, man. So
Beast drummer.
yeah.
Killer. Yeah.
Man, okay, so um man, like going in with the singing, the drumming, and that was just your thing with BR. They let you just because I never saw Brooks do that with BR. Did
Yeah,
he?
the singing thing didn't come in at first. The singing was actually an accident. Like I came in as Jay likes to tell the story, when they auditioned different drummers, I was the only guy the whole time that was smiling and laughing. Everyone else looked like they were going to die trying to play the Brooks stuff. So
Oh,
that was cool. That was a nice compliment. But
wow.
but coming in, they just wanted somebody that could play and could respect, all the different eras. Where I think a lot of people were either like a little too Brooks or a little too just like punk. They
Yeah.
were trying to find that happy medium, which I like to think that my attitude. I came in going, well, they had Pete Feinstone, who was killer. They had
Hmm.
Bobby Scher, who was killer. They had
Hmm.
Brooks Wackerman, who was killer.
Yeah.
A couple other drummers, his names I'm blanking on, but all these different styles. But so I got to figure out how to do all this without just being one era of the band. You know what I mean?
But
And I guess I
that,
was the one guy that kind of did that, like respected the lineage.
that's what I liked about you.
Right.
Because when you were with BR, like you had your own style and
Right.
just brought it in. And that's what I loved about it. But
Yeah,
still,
there's no, yeah, I definitely do me for sure.
right.
There's this weird Shannon Larkin, Tommy Lee, Terry Bozzio weirdo. But there's no getting past that. It just happens.
Oh man.
There's no hiding that shit.
Right, right. Oh man. Let's get into some more BR. Your drum setup. Like I never seen anybody just use the Octobahn. Um, in that, like that was pretty cool. I thought to me that was like that's different. Like
Octobahn is very underused in punk rock, and I'm like the torchbearer, I guess. I mean, I don't know if any other punk guys are using an Octobahn, but
right,
I mean, it comes from the whole Budgie, Stuart Copeland, Shannon
right.
Larkin thing of it was just an interesting sound. And I've
It,
always I used it in Snot too. I've always had it somewhere on the kit.
all right, because I
Yeah.
don't think I ever seen Snot. I just listened.
Yeah.
Like of course, CDs or whatever.
Right.
Like I knew, but I couldn't tell that like on the records or anything like that. I don't, but I was just amazed when I first saw you, just getting into that, with the Autobahn. I was like, man,
This
that's
weirdo in an Octobahn. What was he
it was
thinking?
like
Dream Theater? What's this guy doing?
like
Octobahn.
come on, man. Man, was there anything else that that you would have done besides playing drums or even guitar or
I mean, I'd be involved in music. I mean, I love recording as well. So
mm,
if I wasn't in a band, I probably would have ended up being like a studio engineer or something like that. Because I do a little bit of that here and there.
mm,
I just at home. Like
right,
I've been recording demos for BR. I did the start stuff. So
right.
I would have probably been, a knob twirler at some point if I wasn't doing the rock and roll thing.
Wow. Wow, man. Um
So
I
making bad
just
beats is either way.
what
Being
was
involved in the music business.
oh right, yeah. Man, what other like going back from the start,
Mhm.
of your bands, like I guess you started like what, elementary school,
Yeah,
like
playing the school talent show with my dad. We actually auditioned for the school talent show playing Ice Cream Man by Van Halen when I was 8.
Dang, that's a badass song, man.
Me and my dad at the school talent show playing Ice Cream.
Really?
Yeah, crazy.
You and your dad?
Me and my dad.
Wow.
That's how we auditioned for the elementary school talent show.
Really?
Yeah,
What did he play?
he played guitar. He's a
Really?
singer guitarist. Yeah. Yep. If you can imagine, I have this memory of being in like the school cafeteria and everybody's doing like their ballerina things and their magic shows. And then, okay, the Jamie Miller is, and then me and my dad just start cranking Ice Cream Man in the middle of the cafeteria.
Oh man. Oh man. So who was singing that?
My dad.
Your dad was singing that song.
Yeah, we're playing literally the lyrical content of Ice Cream Man
Right, yeah.
at an elementary school talent show. I'm your ice cream man.
Right, yeah.
But it worked because they put us on as the headliner of the closer of the talent show.
Right. Oh man, that's so sick, man. I wish I was a fly on the wall and saw that, man. That's cool, man. Oh man. Oh man, let's get into you actually getting to play, with the Offspring. Like
Yeah,
how did that happen? Like because I know, I was teching for Josh at that time,
yeah,
and then I guess Josh couldn't do these few shows or whatever.
yeah. He had some
And
Devo dates, I think.
yeah.
In
And,
fact, me and Dexter Noodles go back. The Start was actually on Nitro, Dexter's label.
oh,
Yeah, so I've
oh,
been Dexter Noodles for a long time.
really?
Yeah, we've always, just they were always super nice to the Start. I mean, I think we went on tour with the Offspring when Adam was the drummer. Probably,
Okay.
probably did 2 or 3 U.S. tours and a European tour with them.
Right,
Probably in
yeah.
the early 2000s.
Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't,
Fast forward to when we did those shows together. Apparently, Dexter and Noodles didn't realize they were like, "Wait, what's Jamie doing here? Wait, he's the drummer." They knew me as the guitar player from the Start, so they watched the show and they're like, "What the hell? Like, we didn't know you were a drummer."
oh, wow.
That's how I got on their radar with that. And then when everything went down with Pete, and then
Yeah,
Josh took over,
yeah.
had some dates. So Dexter called me out of the blue and just said, would you want to come in and fill in some dates for Josh? Like you can think it was funny because he's like, you take some time to think about it. And I was like, no, let's just do it. He's like, really? That was easy. It's like, no, of course. You guys were always nice to us. So let's
Right.
so
Oh
I was
man.
actually surprised Josh didn't call me.
Oh,
But
right. I thought
yeah.
Josh called you.
No, it was Dexter. Yeah, Josh is funny. I think Josh likes to hold his gigs kind of close in. So he's like, I'm not going to give that bastard one of my gigs. So, no, I love Josh. He's my boy.
Right. Yeah. No,
But yeah, Dexter called me and just said, take some time to think about it. And I was like, literally, like, let's just stop it. Let's just go. Give me
right.
let's rock. Let's do
Like,
it.
what's there to think about?
Let's think about it. You guys are like the funnest band, like you're the coolest guys. Let's go.
Right.
And then and then I didn't realize you were still working there, so that was
Yeah.
the cherry on top of that Sunday. That was great.
Oh man. I remember the first time like your drums just came in, and I'm like, I have no idea how to set this kid up.
I know, right? Like
No,
I think they sent a kit with a carpet with no markings on it.
exactly. Like, oh, I guess I'll look up pictures, that Shakes, sent me, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I hope this is almost kind of right. I
I
hope,
remember there being no problem whatsoever. I think actually we ended up jettisoning the Octobahn because their sound guy is Greg.
Yes,
He
Greg
was kind of
Best.
like, "Do we really need this?" I was like, "Well, we got enough cowbells and wood blocks. I don't think we need the Octobahn." So we're good.
Right. Oh man. But it was fun, man. So like you
We did
just
have fun. That was really, I mean, it was so like I was surprised at how like we didn't rehearse much. I think I got together with Dexter for like a half a day maybe, and him and I just went through the tunes.
all right.
And then the rest of the guys came down a couple days later without Dexter because he had a hangover.
All right.
So me, Noodles, Todd, and Jonah
Jonah.
jammed for a
Yeah.
day. We rehearsed twice,
Right.
We didn't rehearse. I remember the that funny little medley they do in the middle where Noodles is like, "This is my guitar teacher, Jonah." They didn't tell
Right.
me doing that, so they're like, so luckily I knew how to play. I think it was Trooper by Iron Maiden and Rain in Blood.
Blood. Yeah.
Like they didn't say we were going to do that. We just did it. So that was pretty loose.
Oh man, that was pretty fun though.
That was
So
really fun. Those guys know how to have fun for sure.
right, right. Oh man, it's like I didn't think you had rehearsals with them at all.
I mean,
Like
I wouldn't. They weren't really rehearsals. I think they were just, let's just make sure this sounds okay. Okay, it sounds good. We can do this, and then we just did. Like we didn't. There was no like rehearsing. We just went through everything once with Dexter. He said good. Next day went through everything with the guys. They said good, and that was it. And we were on tour.
oh man.
You filled in too. Did you get to rehearse at all?
I did get to rehearse with
Okay,
them a little bit, yeah.
cool.
So I mean, they wanted to work out some things with me, like this, this are like some beats things that they wanted to make sure that I got. I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah,
understand that.
Dexter's a stickler for those kick drum patterns for sure, right?
He is. He
Wants to
is a
put
very
them kicked
stickler.
exactly how they are, even if they're a little bit weird.
It, yeah,
He wants them
yeah.
how they are. You got it,
Right,
bud. You're the
right, yeah.
boss. You
That's
signed the check, dude.
right. I was like, okay, no, that's wrong. Okay.
Okay.
Oh man. Man, do you get to rehearse right there, right where you're at?
This
Like
is just sort of a
practice.
little, like, yeah, this is my little drum room. I feel
Right.
like actually like a demo studio. I'm sitting at the console. It's
All
just a
right.
little studio for recording, and then I just have the old Yamahas back here
Nice.
up at practice on those.
Man, how long you been with Yamaha, man?
It feels like forever, but I've been
Right.
there since like 2017.
Damn.
But it's funny
Okay.
because my first real drum set was a Yamaha Tour Custom. So it was a weird, like, coming back home weird thing. You know what I mean? Like when I was a
Right.
kid, first real drums my parents got me was a used Tour Custom.
Right.
And then I went through all the phases of like, oh, I need to get a Tama that's got two kick drums, and then whatever else. And then it just ended up back to a damn Tour Custom kit.
Need the huge kit,
Yeah, you need
like
the huge kit. My,
right.
my my huge kit days lasted probably a summer.
Oh,
There's
really?
a lot of stuff to carry around.
Yeah.
Forget this.
Too much,
Too much.
I don't even want to carry that, and I
Right?
have to. So nothing
I
against,
deal with
with
I
the
deal
big
with four
kids.
rack toms. This is stupid.
Right, right. And I was like, oh, do I really need this?
Right.
Did you get to play on any electronics at all, or do you do any of that kind of stuff? No.
Not real. I mean, I've dabbled with it. I had an electronic kit at the house for a minute just for like practice, but
Right.
I mean, they're fun. They're cool as hell. I'm just sort of I grew up on a drum set, so just I whenever I play an electronic kit, I'm like, this is great, but it's not one of those things I'm like, I should really get one because I don't have a neighbor that's
Yeah.
complaining about the noise or anything, and so
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
That's really cool.
I mean, my neighbors probably hate the drums, but what do I care?
Oh, I mean, how long you been there now? So
It's been a long time. Too
right.
bad.
Cool. Geez. I just wanted to see how like I see you have a big old collection of snare drums up there.
Oh yeah.
Right? Is that right? What are those?
There's a there's an old Tama art star that allegedly belonged to Dave
Oh,
Grohl at one point. I don't believe it did, but when I back in the Snot days, I was trying to get a deal with Tama,
yeah.
and they said no. But somebody over there was like, "We're gonna send you a snare drum," and then they did. And then somebody there was like, "Well, that was Nirvana had that for a while." I don't think they did, but now I
Right.
just like to say that was on a snare. Wasn't. Um, actually, the two on the top are the two Superphonics that I had on the Offspring gig that you were checking.
Ah,
Yeah, they're
okay.
like the 70s 402s. I just still have them here.
Man.
And then the other
Man.
one there's a Pearl Jupiter, the Stuart Copeland snare
Okay.
there, and then and then the bottom one is I think it's a Yamaha aluminum or something.
Nice.
And
Nice.
then there's
Nice.
more behind the curtain, but that's a mess back there.
All right. totally understand that. Don't worry. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
behind the
that,
curtain
man.
is a pile of snare drums and not in order.
All right. So your guy is Greg Crane?
Greg Crane, the best.
That dude is awesome, man. I know
He's so
he's mad at me. So
cool.
because I switched companies.
And didn't go to Yamaha.
No,
Where'd you go?
TW.
Nothing wrong with that. DW makes great drums.
Yeah, they do. They do. Like I'm just going for it. It's like, let's see, that's not gonna happen. And I was gonna hit up.
You guys do a ton of fly dates, right?
Yeah.
So
So that
I mean, Yamaha is everywhere as well, but there's nowhere you'll go on the planet you won't get the exact DW kit that you want.
yeah.
It's everywhere. Those things are just, and they're tanks.
Yeah. I mean, same with Yamaha,
Absolutely.
I got a lot of friends that are on Yamaha and Dorsey's, but
Yeah.
I just went for it at first, and I was like, then I was going to be like, all right, Greg, like what I didn't need to do, because I was going to go to him next.
Yeah.
If the DW thing didn't happen, so
Yeah.
but love you, Greg.
He's not really mad. He's,
No, he's just like, huh.
right?
Oh, what was that? Sorry, I didn't
So
hear
he's
you.
just like, wait a second.
Right.
Did you get one of those cool DW electronic kits?
No, not
I've
no.
heard about those. I haven't seen it, but I've heard
No,
about it. It's
it,
amazing.
yeah, it's like everything is like nothing's plugged in. It's
Right.
all like Bluetooth type of thing.
Just
And like it's different. I mean, that is crazy, like they have something like that,
right.
but I didn't think they would come out with something like that,
Yeah, it's a trip.
like, but I mean, good on them,
Yeah.
so
Good for you, DW, man. It's
hey,
rad. That's
thank you.
awesome.
Thank you. Um, do you want to explain like your drum setup, what you normally play during
Yeah.
your gigs with BR?
I like we were joking earlier. I like to keep things simple. It
Yeah,
basically, everything just sort of stems from the bottom kit. My size is always 20, 24, 26-inch kick, depending on what I can get at the time.
yeah,
14, 16, 18 toms. And there's the 6-inch octobahn, two crashes a ride, maybe a China cymbal if I'm feeling fancy.
right.
I like it nice and simple. I mean, it worked for Buddy Rich, it'll work for me, He'll like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
man. It heads your Remo.
Yeah, I've been with Remo forever. Yeah.
Nice, man.
Remo head,
Nice.
Sabian cymbals, been with Sabian for, you know, we all love our Chris.
Yes, Chris Stanky.
The best dude in the biz, by the
Yes,
way.
he is. He
Just
is.
the best guy in the biz.
You're right.
Yeah, he's got the best Neil Peart stories.
Oh man, I'm sure he does.
He
Like,
used to ride bikes with Neil Peart, man. He would go out on tour with Rush just so Neil would have somebody to ride motorcycles with.
come on.
Dude, how cool is your life?
Oh my
Yeah. Ask
I
him
didn't
one
know.
time.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, ask him about riding bikes with the professor, dude.
Man, damn,
So
I
cool.
didn't. Chris is that cool.
Yeah,
So
Chris is that cool. Yeah. Chris is that guy. You think you're cool, and then he goes, "Yeah, I used to ride bikes with Pert." Like,
right.
tell him about it.
Chris Stanky,
Yeah.
man, come
Chris would
on.
save you.
You're
What am I playing? Sticks. I use Vader drumsticks. Good old
good.
Chad. Yep.
Nice. There you go. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Love Vader, man. Just love
Yeah, they're
them.
great.
They barely break on you, so
Yeah,
those are
I'm knocking on wood, man. I don't break sticks or cymbals anymore, and I think it's because of the combination. I used to rip through cymbals like crazy, but
yeah.
kind of convinced me into using larger, thinner cymbals because I was, I'm dumb meathead. I need big, thick cymbals. They break all the sticks, they break all, and then you crack the cymbals.
Yeah.
Switched to bigger, thinner cymbals, and then I switched to lighter but sticks that have less of a taper, and now nothing's breaking. Knock on wood.
Oh man.
To the Fatback 3A, and like that now I don't break sticks and I don't break cymbals.
Oh man, I love 3As, man.
So
There's
good.
yeah, they,
Perfect.
they feel good.
Yeah.
Those feel real good. What do you what okay, since we were talking about Sabian symbols, like what are your crashes? What are there AAX or
They're usually AAX explosions, but now I'm on a big Paragon kick.
okay.
I got a couple of Paragons that are going to go out on this July run we're doing in the States.
Right.
I have the there's and here in my home studio, those are a couple of Paragons up there. I love the way Paragons record,
Yeah.
but I was always using the AAX Explosion Live just because they're loud, but they decay quick,
Yeah.
and, that makes our sound guy happy because we have four vocal mics across the front that
Oh.
everything leads through. So
Oh man.
I like
Is
those.
it hard for him to, like even when you're singing, that
He's got
that
it.
might
He's been with the band for 30 years. He's got it. He knows what he's doing. He's got all the tricks.
All right. Okay,
And
cool.
I love him because he refuses to put me behind the plexiglass because everybody's
Good.
like, just put the drum. He's like, nope, not putting you behind the glass, dude. So
Good.
yeah,
That's nice. That's really nice.
yeah.
I know a couple of guys that just wanted. It's like we need to put plexi
I
around
mean, I
this.
understand me being a
Yeah.
sound engineer. I get it, but it's just like, oh man, really? Gonna put me behind the fishbowl, man? Come on.
No, I don't want that. No.
I don't want that, man. No. Just put a curtain in front of me too.
Right, right. It's like, who needs to see the drummer? They don't need to see the drummer.
Right.
Come on, man.
I always said if they put me behind the fishbowl, I'm going to start decorating it. It's going to get bad.
All right. Oh
Like
man.
little butterfly stickers all over it. It's going to turn into a child's bedroom back there before you
Right.
know it.
Man, what else are you playing? Besides you're playing Yamaha, you're
Yamaha
playing
drums, Remo heads, Sabian
right,
cymbals, Vader sticks,
right.
Porters and Davies seat. Cool.
Oh,
Got
you're
that
using
Porter
that.
Davies thumper, the BC3. That thing rules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You got one of those?
I do.
Yeah.
I
I
do.
was not a thumper guy ever until
Mhm.
that came out. Like I remember people would like put one of those thumpers that attaches to your seat.
Oh my
You know, it
gosh.
would last a song or it would off. You're like, what is this thing? You
It's a waste of
better.
time.
Yeah.
Like I've seen guys that had two on each side,
Oh my God.
like really? Like
Especially
it,
back in the snot and the metal days, all the metal guys had like, six thumpers tied to their drum seat with a sub behind them. And everything blew up and it was too loud. I'm like, what are you guys doing, man? Like, come
right.
on. But
Oh
I sat on a friend's thumper, the Porters and Davies, and was like, holy crap. They built a better mousetrap.
yeah.
I immediately just emailed and was like, I need to buy one right now.
Right. Yeah.
Probably
No.
bought one.
Oh man, yeah. I finally got one and it was just nice, like not to put a sub behind me
Yes.
anymore.
Yeah.
And I just like that feeling of not having air pushing against me, like going, I don't mind, fans or anything like that, but I don't need anything that, just like that gigantic, behind
Yeah.
me anymore. Just
Yep.
don't need it. You know what I mean? Do you wear
Absolutely.
in-ears?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't have there's no drum wedge on stage. 3 out of 5 guys in BR all have in-ears in. Just our
Okay.
bassist and our stage right guitar player use wedges still. The rest of
Right.
us,
You guys don't use click, do you?
no.
No. Okay.
Nope.
Man,
No
your
tracks, no
timing is
click.
right. Your timing is awesome.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's go back to this. Since we're talking about clicks and whatnot, was it weird for you to come in to Offspring with using a click?
Not at all.
No? Cool.
No. I've
Awesome.
done enough session work, when you're on the click, and then even the band, the Start, even though I was the guitar player, we ran backing tracks because we're a new wave band, so it's a lot
Right.
of but we weren't big enough to hire a keyboard player, nor did we really want to have a fifth person driving it. We already drove each other mental, so we don't need a fifth personality in there. So, and it wasn't a lot of keyboards, but so I just made like this is old school. This is like 2001. So I just, bounced everything down to mono, put a click track on it, put it on an iPod and said, here you go, drummer, play to this. So
Yeah.
I would make backing tracks for my other band. So I was familiar with the process,
So you did all of
four
that.
counts for you, 4 counts for the band, go.
Right. Oh, nice, man. Nice,
Yep.
man. Do you do a lot of like recording stuff like yourself?
Just at
Like
home, yeah.
just at home?
Wife and I will record music. I'll do like I said. I had Brett down here recently we were doing some demos for Bad Religion, and I record solo music all the time. Yeah, what I do. I play instruments, so I like to record and goof off in here.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. You have any crazy wild tour stories or anything like that with BR?
Not really. BR is pretty chill. I mean, they've been doing it so they've kind of got it streamlined to where everything, everybody, I mean, everything fires on all cylinders. The only craziest thing was last year. It's not even that crazy. Our singer Greg likes to travel on his own because he has a hard time sleeping in a tour bus bunk. So he'll fly separately. We're on the bus. He'll take a commuter or he'll drive. He likes to get in the rental car and drive.
Oh,
We were playing Mesa, Arizona with Social D last year.
okay.
He lives in Palm Springs. You're familiar with that place.
Yep.
He decided I'm going to drive from Palm Springs to Mesa, Arizona.
Wow.
And unbeknownst to him, he left morning of show. There was
Yeah.
some crazy car accident on the 10. So he hit that like, oh my God, I'm going to miss the show. So he's like panic calling our TM, like, I'm not going to make it. We're like, all right. And since us and Social D were flip-flopping, um, we were able to talk Social D. And even though this is one of their headline nights, we were like, Greg's not here. Why don't you guys just go on? And we're going to hope for the best that he makes it in time. And he made it the last song of Social D's set. But poor guy was just so stressed. Like he felt so bad.
Oh,
Oh my God, I thought I was gonna miss the show. We're like, dude, it's fine. Like whatever, stuff happens. You
wow.
can't count on everything. But yeah,
Right.
that might be the craziest thing that ever happened was Greg got stuck in traffic coming to a show.
Mm,
We had to switch slots, but
right.
that's how, before I joined the band, apparently there's great stories because a lot of the guys don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things, extracurricular stuff going on. So part of why I never met the guys at Bad Religion was because I was told we did a Warp Tour in 2002 with theStart. Bad
Okay.
Religion was on that. And because I knew Brooks, I was telling a mutual friend, hey, I'm going to go over to Brooks's bus and say hi. And they warned me, don't go over to the Bad Religion bus because the way they park the buses with no effects, they call it the quadrant of hate. They park in a circle and
Okay.
they have guard, they have BB guns and water hoses. And if they don't know you, you might get shot with a BB gun or a water hose. So I'm like,
Oh,
said I'm not going over there.
wow. Wow.
So that's
Oh,
why I
okay.
never met the guys before I joined the band.
Wow.
That was back in their wild days. They're not so wild anymore.
Right.
Now we're
Um,
just, chilling and drinking coffee and talking
hey,
about the books we read,
yeah, that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. That's a great
Absolutely.
thing.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, eRecordStudio, the new way musicians rehearse, record, and share their eRecord sessions on social media. Visit ERS on eRecordStudio.com. Download this amazing app on Google and Apple Apps stores.
Yeah.
Um, can you name like all the bands that you've been in? Because I want to show our audience, more about your playing too and your music.
Right.
Um, is everything out like you can get it on Spotify or
Oh
Apple?
yeah. The start has one, two, three and a half, three records and an EP. They're
Right.
all, I think our first record still isn't on iTunes because there's been a deal with Universal with that forever. I think we personally own the rights to the record now, and we've just been kind of dropping the ball and getting it up on iTunes because mainly I don't know how to get music on the iTunes.
Right.
I've never been like a label guy, or so I Google search it, I'm like I don't know how to do this.
Right.
But
Can
yeah, the Start records are up on all the things, and then I was in Snot's records are up on everywhere.
right.
And then after Snot, I was in well, that was the Start and Snot, and then And You'll Know Us by the Trail of Dead has records before I joined, tons of records before I joined, and then two records when I joined the band are up everywhere.
Right.
Yeah,
Can-
so yeah, all the bands I've been in. Oh, you know what? Actually, Souls at Zero aren't on any. I have never found the music anywhere online.
oh, really?
The
Okay.
Wrathchild stuff is up on iTunes, but I've never found the Souls at Zero records.
Can you name like your one of your favorite songs off of each band that you've been in?
Wow.
Can you just name yeah, just
Yeah,
one song?
yeah,
Like
it's
because
amazing. I'd say with
because I'm gonna- I'm
Snot,
gonna- I'm
Snot
gonna
would
put
be
it
okay.
on the show and just premiere it just a little bit and just
Sure.
just show you off some more. So
Probably Snot, my favorite song, is a song called Snooze Button. It's the fourth song, I think, on the record.
Okay.
Sort of it's got like a Rage Against the Machine vibe. It's kind of got one of those sort of like in the box riffs, but it just has a cool groove. And
Mm.
I think it might have even been, I think it's the first song I ever heard by them when they sent me their first recording. They had sent me a cassette, and somehow the snooze button was the second song on the cassette, but somebody had sent me a cassette that hadn't been rewound at the beginning. The first
Oh,
song was Snot. So when
oh,
I put the cassette in, it just started playing snooze button with that snooze alarm. I was like, this is cool.
all right.
Uh, that,
Okay.
that, that's probably my favorite Snot song.
Mm.
Um, the start, God, I mean, me and my wife wrote all the songs. So that's kind of like picking your favorite kid, like, man, yeah, probably our first record, which was called Shakedown, which is kind of tough to find.
All right. Okay.
Song, well, actually, I like every song. The whole record's really cool. It's actually a neat record. We were sort of the new wave before the new wave thing kind of hit, like
Okay.
in the early 2000s, before the Sounds and before the Killers. We were kind of
Yeah.
doing that thing.
Oh,
We started, so it has that sort of vibe.
right.
But I like all the tunes. That's tough to pick a favorite song with the start, like I said, because it's like picking a favorite kid.
Right.
And then Trail of Dead. Before I joined the band, they made some killer records. There's a record called Madonna. It's their second record, I think, and there's a song called Claire de Lune on that record. I didn't play on it, but I
Right.
love that song. Just a great song.
Okay.
Um, and then the two records I played on with them, there's a record called Lost Songs by Trail of Dead, and there's a song called Catatonic. That's kind of a
Mm.
rager. It's a punky kind of rager that my co-drummer Jason Reese sings, and he's just got a really cool kind of Ian MacKaye scream.
Mm.
I always like that song. And then there's the other record of Trail of Dead I recorded with them. It's called Nine because it was their ninth record.
Mm.
Uh, that's a tough one. I don't have a favorite song because that was a sort of a weird, like we all made that record as one. It was a very organic record and everybody had like a piece in it. So it's sort of, I don't think of them as one song. The whole record is sort of like one big song.
Mm.
So that's kind of a cool album to check out.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
And
oh,
hopefully we can pull some video from that too.
yeah,
Um, it
I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
or something, or like it's still or something like that.
Yeah,
I have my guys, try to fix that up.
cool.
So um, man, I heard that Snot recently just got together, but I know that you weren't playing with them.
Yeah, the band's doing some reunion stuff. I did the first three local shows. What did we do? We did Anaheim in February,
Oh,
Anaheim House of Blues, Brick by Brick in San Diego, and something up in Santa Barbara, which was the band's hometown.
right.
I had to pop off, and full circle, Shannon Larkin jumped in and filled in for me.
Oh man.
All comes back to me and Shannon.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so Shannon jumped in and filled in for some dates, and then this cat called Seven Antonopoulos, he filled in some dates for me. He's going to fill in. They're going to do a summer European tour, and Seven's going to jump in and fill in for me because I can't do it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, they're out there doing the thing right now. They got it. I think that style of music's kind of in vogue right now again.
Hmm.
And Snot just started getting, phone calls from festivals going, "Hey, would you guys reunite and play some shows?" And we all said, "Yeah, why not? We're all,
That's awesome.
and obviously I'm the worst. I'm just like, yeah, if I can, if I can do it, I'll do it. But luckily we have, some pretty quality drummers and Shannon Larkin and Seven Antonopoulos that can fill in for me. So
Oh man, that's so sick, man.
it's funny, right? Like it was great too because it was like the perfect timing. Like Shannon had split with Godsmack, so he's kind of in the press about, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
retiring, but I'm gonna jump back in for a couple of shows. Like, I'm sure somewhere Sully's just like, son of a bitch.
Right, yeah. I
Thought you were
saw
retired.
right. I saw that. I was like, oh, oh man. Okay, all right.
I'm retired from you.
Right.
You can keep that. I don't care.
I'm gonna let it roll, man.
Let it roll, baby. Let it roll. It's all
Oh
love.
man. Right, yeah. Oh, you know what? You never said what was your favorite song from Bad Religion. Like
Oh
for
man, we did.
like you recorded.
My favorite song I recorded was it'd probably be Toss Up off the Age of Unreason record. I love the song Chaos from Within, which is the first song on the record. And
Right.
then there's a song called Paranoid Style. The story behind that is go back to my first audition with BR. At the
Okay.
time, we're all very familiar with Brooks Wackerman, and he's the double bass master of
Yeah.
all time. He can, it's insane what he can do.
Yes.
So I went to the first rehearsal, and there's a song called Sinister Rouge on the set list. Brooks does some killer double bass stuff in there. I hadn't looked at a double kick or a double kick pedal since 1987, maybe.
Oh.
So I
Oh.
went into the rehearsal and I said, before we start, full disclosure to Jay, Brian, and Brett, I
Yeah.
haven't played with double kick since I was a teenager, and I don't have one right now. They're like, dude, don't worry about it. Just play whatever. Double bass is not a deal breaker in this band. That, Brooks did it, not a deal breaker. So
Yeah.
we did the Sinister Rouge song, and I just mimicked the double kick part, did the old kick floor tom, that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just, when you're a drummer, you're just like, whatever, I just did the thing. Who cares? But
Right.
Brett was like, that's so cool. So Brett writes a song based on me doing that drum beat and wrote the song around. You have to do that drum beat on the kick drum and floor tom through the whole song because I thought it was so awesome. There's a song called Paranoid Style where I'm
Right.
playing that kick, double kick on the floor and the bass, throw in some double kick for good measure also. But it's primarily the song, the riff was written around Brett being like, I'd never seen anybody do that. That was so cool. So I had to write a song to make you do that again.
Wow.
And it's also a really cool song. So made it even cooler. It wasn't just like a throwaway track. It was like a really
Right.
good, cool tune on the record.
That's
Yeah.
good, man. That's great, man.
The fun stories, the silly stuff.
Man, what other stories you got for me, man? You got anything else or?
What else is there? Oh, God. So much. There's so many things I shouldn't talk about.
Oh, right. Well, I don't want to get you in trouble, dude.
Oh, wait, we can do after hours with Will.
Oh, right.
After
After hours with Will Dorsey Jr.
when the lights go down.
Right.
Real
Oh, man,
stories.
I know what I want to talk to you about.
Sure.
Do you love going back to Baltimore?
Oh my God. Are you kidding? If I could move back, I probably would, but my wife would probably divorce me.
Right.
But luckily, she's cool enough to where we go back there many times a year and visit family and hang with friends. And
Right.
she loves it. She loves Baltimore. But yeah, I would move back. I love Baltimore. It's a great place.
Right. I mean, do you go back also to go get some food or back? I know because
Funny you
because of
should
family.
ask, because I was just thinking about Moe's this morning.
Oh, come on.
Because we're on this Bad Religion tour we're doing with Dropkick Murphys in July, August. We're playing at Pier 6, which is across the street from Moe's, which I will be at that morning. Right across the street. Go over crab cakes, baby.
That hurts.
I'll get you a crab cake. I'll bring it back
Please.
to California for you.
Bring it back here.
Yeah, I whenever we go there,
Right.
I grew up in Middle River, so I don't know if you know
Okay.
about Kaufman's Cafe. It's like a little diner that's been there since before the beginning of time.
Right.
But that's like my favorite little greasy spoon diner spot called Kaufman's with a K. If
Oh
you're ever
my
in Baltimore, check it out.
Yes.
They have breakfast and a killer hot dog.
Yeah. Man. I don't think I ever ate there
Really?
at Kaufman's.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's weird that I've never been there.
It's a very kind of locals only spot. Like my cousin, I think my niece works there. She's a waitress.
Okay. Okay.
Like my cousin, who's he's like the sheriff of Baltimore County. His neighbor owns the place, so he runs the place as well too. But yeah,
Wow.
Kaufman's is sort of it's not a locals only where I walk in. Sometimes people will kind of look. I'm like, I'm from across the street. Give me a break. Yeah. There's a look that people have in Baltimore, and you roll in
Like,
tour with the California tight pants, and
yeah.
like, who's
You
this
don't
guy?
know. You don't know what you're ordering. You don't know
Right.
what you get,
If you don't order the scrapple, they look at you like, You ain't from around here. I'm like, dude, I grew up in Oak Grove, man. Shut up.
Right. There you go.
Grew up in the hood, right over there.
Right. Oh man. Oh.
But yeah, I love the food, man. Like I said, I love Moe's. I'm gonna be there soon. The Moe's Trio, dude, that's my jam. Oh,
Right.
just thinking about it
Oh.
right now is making me hungry.
Hold on. Do you like the crab dip too, or
Oh yeah.
do you eat that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I was just trying to, like just to see where, like if you like crab dip or
The first time
you know.
my wife went to like one of the family functions where, they brought the couple of bushels of crabs out on the picnic tables. She's like, "What do I do?" I'm like, "I'll show you." And she said the first time she watched me crack open a crab, she got scared.
Really?
It
Why?
was just, it was, when you're from
Oh,
Baltimore, you just, a couple of hammers, a knife, and that thing's open and there's meat
yeah.
everywhere. She's like, "How
Crack.
the hell did you do that?" I'm like, "What?" Like, here you go.
Here's some meat. Take it,
How do you find the meat in that thing? I'm like, if you're from here, you just know.
Oh my gosh. Man, yeah.
Now
I need to
she's an
go back.
expert. Now
Oh,
she's a crab cracker. Oh, she can do it big time.
really?
Oh, she's a crab cracker for sure.
Man, you get her
California
to,
girl, cracking them crabs, man.
right? Man, did you ever try to have crabs over this way from
Every
another
once in a
spot?
while, I'll order a crab cake just so I can scold people.
Yes. Yes. I'm not the only one.
Oh, dude, I do it. I'll order a crab cake from some place and be like, "So I'm going to show you a picture," and I'll pull up a picture of a Maryland crab cake,
Right.
or like one that my mom makes a crab cake. It's like the size of 16-inch hats. It's just a giant thing.
Right.
I'm like, "This is a
Oh,
crab cake. What you've
right.
served me today was
Right.
like, that's not a crab cake."
I swear to you, I used to do it, and I was just like, my wife will say the same thing. It's like, well, they got crab cakes on here. I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna be
They've got crab balls full of bread.
right. I was like, I'm just gonna be disappointed. Like, why even order
Why
it?
make me angry? Why do you want me to be angry right now?
Exactly.
Why do you want to poke the bear?
Oh man,
Yeah, it is pretty
Jamie.
funny to see what other people think a crab cake is and be like, "Oh, that's so sad, man. That's a bummer for you."
Yeah. Anytime that anybody talks about like their let's say, hey, I get to go in your hometown, I'm like, and what you gonna do? Like it's say, I'm gonna order a crab cake. I'm like, you bastard.
Yep.
So- man,
When's the last
Jamie,
time you went back to Be More?
oh my gosh. Actually January.
Oh, good.
Yeah, January, but I didn't really go any restaurants at all. I just
Yeah.
mostly just hung out at, with family and whatnot, so yeah, I
The
didn't.
reason we always end up at restaurants is because no one in my family is a very proficient cook. We're very restaurant centric. So it's like we're going to restaurants, dude. My brother, who unfortunately passed away, he was the only cook
Oh man, I'm
in the.
sorry.
Thank you. It happened a
Yeah.
long time ago, but he was
Mm.
a very good chef. But no one else, other than my mother, who doesn't live in Baltimore anymore, no one else can cook. So we are
Right.
we are restaurant people for sure. So that's why I'm always in
Oh,
good places.
yeah. Is there anything that you want to like switching up subject, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, so,
Switching gears here.
right.
Your thoughts on Palestine? Like,
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Right. Sorry, I got on the topic of food,
Oh no.
so like especially Baltimore food.
I could talk all day about Baltimore food.
Oh my God. Do you eat those cookies?
The burger cookies?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. It's funny. We were just talking, we were looking at them on Amazon last night. I was showing my wife, Amy, like, look, they have burger cookies on Amazon.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Man,
I'm a ridiculous Baltimore person. I mean, I've been in California for 30 some odd years.
damn.
Normally behind me, there's also a Maryland flag, but it
Oh,
fell down and I can't find it.
all right. Oh
It
man.
fell off the Raptor and it went back there. And I'm like, I'm not going back into the snare drum purgatory. Look for the Maryland flag.
That's all right.
I'm
That's
about
all
as
right.
I'm about as Maryland as they come.
Right. There you
So
go. There you
yeah.
go. I still have, man, okay, hold on. I'm always just rocking this kind of stuff,
Oh, of
like,
course. Absolutely.
like
There you go.
like Raven stuff, like I just can't, you know. And I got my kids all into it too, you know.
Nice.
Anyway,
I don't none of all my Raven stuff's in the house, but there is some. I got some stuff. Hold on. Got my towel for when it gets hot back here.
all right.
A little O's towel.
Oh, there you go. Oh. Oh man.
Baltimore, baby.
Right, yeah. We're proud Marylanders.
Proud Marylanders, dude.
Right? Yep. Anyway, okay, now I'm gonna switch gears.
All right.
Was there anything that you like to promote or like from especially from BR or anything else that you have coming up?
Yeah, I mean, we got it. We're touring July and August with Dropkick Murphys all over the states. That's going to be a good tour.
Right.
Everybody wants to see some cool punk rock in an outdoor amphitheater setting. Come see us. It's going to be tickets aren't super expensive, and it's a co-headline. Everybody's playing a full set, full stage, full deal. It's going to be super fun. Yeah, I'd love to say we have a new record coming out, but we're just
Right.
literally in the early demo stages right now. So eventually we'll get to that.
Oh man. So you guys are working on new music.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Greg's got a handful of songs, and Brett's got a handful of songs, and then we're all just supposed to sort of meet in the middle somewhere soon and start compiling.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, are you going to start playing guitar and like in your other projects or anything like that, or like are you bringing those bands back out or?
I mean, the start is always still around. Like, well, we joke, my wife and I, we have the best tour schedule ever. We play once a year now.
There you go.
We'll do like one show in Long Beach a
All
year.
right,
And that's always fun. That's easy.
dude.
But Trail of Dead is currently on hiatus.
Okay.
But actually, when I left, when I officially had to leave, they got someone to come in and replace on drums and guitar, who's great. I forget the kid's name, but really good guitar player, drummer.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's always something kind of percolating, but I'm sticking to drums these days right now. It's kind of, and if Amy wants to work on some start music, I'll drop whatever and be like, all right, let's do it. But she's
Right.
running a business. She's got her own business and it's doing great. And
That's awesome,
she's the busiest lady in the world. So yeah,
dude.
she's usually my excuse to pick up a guitar. She
Very
always
cool.
she's like, I've always been in a band with you as a guitar player. How come I've never got to be in a band with you as a drummer? I'm like,
Oh.
I can't find a guitar player I don't want to strangle.
Oh. Oh man.
We all know how guitar players can be.
Oh my gosh. Mm.
That's all. People were always like, why did you play guitar in the start? I'm like, originally I was going to be the drummer, but then I realized, well, we got Amy's drummer from her old band is a really good drummer. I'm like, well, that's easier than me finding a guitar player I don't want to beat up. So I'll just play guitar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally get that. Dude.
Yeah. Guitar
Man.
players
Yeah. They're hard.
they're hard.
They're very hard,
Y'all are
like
hard. As a weekend guitar player, y'all are hard.
Oh man, Jamie, dude. I guess I'm gonna wrap things up now.
All right, cool.
It
This was fun. We should do this every week.
we're just gonna have the topic of food, so
I'll do it anytime. You know what? We'll do it again after August when I come back with report from Moe's and Kaufman's.
Oh,
We could do it, or I could do a man on the scene report from tour direct from Blue Moon Cafe.
you know what? I should do a segment and just have you just like this is in Baltimore, Maryland at Moe's,
Reporting from Fells Point out front of the horse you rode in on.
Oh my gosh,
And
man,
it's
you're
where they
naming some
filmed The
places,
Wire.
dude. Oh man. Oh man, dude. Hold on. Let me ask you this. One more question. What places did you play in Baltimore? Besides Hammerjacks? We all know
right.
Hammerjacks.
We all know Hammerjack.
Yeah.
We used to play at the Rage on Calvert Street.
Oh yeah. Yep. Okay.
And then we were fun. We were county kids, but we never played in the county because there was a place called like Midway Cafe up in Essex that a lot of our friends used to play. We never played there. We were considered a city band. So we We played the Grog and Tankard. Used to be down where
Oh,
Ram's Head was.
yeah.
Grog and Tankard was one of our places. Rage was one of our places. We did the Hammerjack stuff. We did a lot of stuff down in DC. We would play like DC Space and Old 930 Club a lot.
Yeah.
We'd go all the way down to Richmond and play.
Okay.
We played CBGB's in New York a lot.
Oh, man, I missed that place.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
Where else in Baltimore? Baltimore. Dude, so Grog and Tankard, Rage, Hammers. We used to play the Paragon out in College Park.
Okay.
Play
Man,
that place a lot.
Paragon.
Yeah.
Man, I was a
There's
bitch
got to be.
just
What
to
is,
load in.
yeah, right. And towards the end of we used to play Steel Town. You remember Steel Town out in Sparrows Point, I think, or North Point?
Yeah.
Like the county version of Hammerjacks.
Hmm.
It was like just a big metal warehouse that sounded like garbage, but had a cool stage. Oh, and the old Hour House. We used to play that off of North Ave, where 83 crosses over North
Oh,
Ave.
yeah,
There was
yeah, 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 yeah.
a hair shop called Hour House that had a venue upstairs. And like, dude, like this place had like Nirvana played there and stuff like back in the day, but it,
What?
it was like a townhouse, but had a venue on top called Hour House.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
Wow. In
cool.
Fells Point?
Oh no, it was the corner of where North Ave and 83 goes over North Ave.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, way
Gotcha.
downtown.
Okay. All right. All right.
No longer there, unfortunately, but that was a place we played out a bunch.
Okay. Wow, man. Damn.
Oh, Matt Maxwell's in Fells Point. We played there every so often. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Maxwell's. Yeah.
Oh, Smashing Pumpkins play there, dude. That place was tiny.
Did they
Smashing Pumpkins
really?
on the Gish tour. Yeah.
Really?
Maxwell's in Fells Point.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
I'm
I mean,
a,
for those at home, that place is the size of this room I'm sitting in. Like, that's a little
yes.
venue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiny little place.
Man, dude. Okay. Dude, thank you so much for doing this, dude.
My pleasure, my friends. Good to see
I
you.
I really appreciate this.
Cool.
Especially and I'm proud, like, man, as soon as you said you were from Baltimore, man, I'd say this dude's awesome. So
Well, when you're from Baltimore, then you know. If you're from Baltimore, yeah, you made it out. Cool.
Right.
It's a great place, but it's a tough place to do what we do.
Yeah,
It's twice as hard, takes twice as long to do it out of Baltimore.
exactly.
It's not because
Exactly.
that's what I always tell people. There are so many unbelievably talented musicians, artists, creators of all types in Baltimore, and it's
Yes, sir.
considered sort of a blue collary town where
Yeah.
they don't really take the arts. There are scenes where they take the art serious, but it's not quite as serious as New York, LA type. And there's just so many people that are so talented there that just, you know, kind of got to do the thing. You kind of got to get in the car and drive out to California and roll the
Yep.
dice, man. Go play
Yep.
for Ice-T.
Literally, that's exactly what I did. It just
See, you too can win a Grammy, kids, if you just
right.
drive.
I noticed I didn't put it right over there either.
Oh, you should have put it right there.
Normally I have it like right there, sitting there, but
That's awesome. I love that.
like, but I didn't have time today. So, ladies and
Yeah, like I said,
gentlemen,
from Baltimore, you know.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Miller, thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure, my man. It's great
I'm
to see
honored.
you, buddy.
I'm honored, dude.
Honors all mine, my man.
Oh man, thank you so much, man. Take it easy, man. All right.
I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you in August.
Definitely. Yeah, please.
Promote.
Right. Dude. All right. I'm gonna have my editor guy just edit the end right here. So, but dude,
Okay, cool.
seriously, man, thank you so much for doing this, man.
Thanks for having me, man. That was really
No,
fun.
no,
That's
no,
cool.
because a lot of people will say something like, I need to ask management first," or they have to ask their singer first. Like you and Jonah, like, didn't need to do that at all. Do you know, he plays bass in Chevelle right now.
Yeah,
Um, um,
Kimball.
Kimball, yeah. He
Yeah, I
didn't
know
have
Kimball.
yeah, he didn't have the axe either, but like a lot of guys I've been, going to trying to get on this thing is just like,
Yeah.
oh, I got axe management. I'm like, okay, you just don't want to do it. So which is whatever, you know what I mean? I'm just,
I mean,
it's
I mean, I understand people like to keep a tight ship and stuff, but like I said, Bad Religion's been around for so long, and we're none of we all have the trust in one another to where we all know that we're not going to be out there saying stupid crap or causing trouble,
yeah,
you know, or
yeah,
at least causing the right trouble. But
right.
there's nobody. We don't have to clear anybody. Everybody's totally like, do your thing, man. Cool.
Right. Oh
Yeah.
man. I just man, I really appreciate it, you coming up there. And also I wanted to thank you for even, putting a word in for me for even saying something to Dexter and
Oh, dude. I think
this
Josh
is
and I both said the same thing. We're like, the best drummer here is that guy. Like, get him to do it.
nah, bro.
Well,
I was just, like, I was just happy that you stuck up for me and thank you so much, man. I
of course,
I I,
man.
I didn't give you like a real thank you on that, man. So thank you.
Not
So,
necessary.
you know. Now I need to find whatever's going to happen with with body count. I don't know. But body count's still going to be around, it's just like they're just they don't have a full touring thing right now
Yeah.
and it's only a few dates for this year and I was teching for a little while, I was out with, Adele for the last 3 years.
Wow.
Um and after I think you were in for a while with Offspring and decided to go do that and so now I don't have a gig right now
Man,
like
that sucks.
Tekken wise anyway, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just it's tough sometimes but I mean hey I'm still looking, so
Uh,
yeah. So
I'm sure something will pop up sooner than later.
yeah, but I just want, like, right now, I just want to, try to show off, like, especially your drumming style. You're a beast, dude.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. So are you, though.
Oh man, not like you. I had this I think we were in the Netherlands last year, almost around this a year ago in the Netherlands. It was the Jared on Air and I was filming you and I was like, this dude is a badass. Like because you didn't do it in the Offspring. But like I know like the songs that you were comfortable with and you swinging around the mic as well while you're playing.
Right.
Dude, that's sick. That's sick. Like just doing that. Because I always seen like other guys do it for the drummer, and,
Right.
like take it away, like
Oh, it's that just I can't co-sign that,
but
man.
no, but you find a rhythm in doing that and know when to bring that mic back around to you in the front of you like that. That's sick. And to me, that's a great timing thing, like on your badassery. So if that's a word,
Well, I
so
appreciate it. Thank you.
like
Thanks for noticing.
yeah, I noticed that. I was like, man, that's really sick. So
Cool.
yeah, I envy that, like but yeah, man, well, especially, like even like when I first saw you playing with Bad Religion and there was some double bass stuff that you were putting in. It was just little stuff, but it made sense
Right.
to
Yeah.
me.
Just
You know what I mean?
cool accents or something, just, yeah.
But so cool. It was
Right.
cool. It's like that's cool.
Right.
That's really cool. That's a drummer that listens to these songs and just like, I'm gonna put this in here. Just a little taste of whatever, but I
Right.
love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I love about your playing, Jamie.
Oh, that's cool. I appreciate that, Will.
So
Again, thanks for noticing.
yeah, hey man, I take notice and like like I try to take whatever I can from each drummer that I work with or
Yep,
whatever, and
same here.
I just take it in, just try to take it in,
Yeah,
like
because if you're not, there's always something you can learn. Someone's always doing something that you didn't know you could do, and like, oh, look at that, that's awesome.
yeah,
So
yeah,
always
totally,
learn.
totally. All right, Jamie. Hey, dude. Hey, man. Have a great day.
You too, Will.
And man, hopefully I'll run into you in person soon.
For sure. We got
You
to do
know,
that.
so awesome, man. Jamie, take it easy, man.
You too, Will.
All right, man. All right, thank you again. All
See
right,
you, buddy.
bye. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Will Dorsey Jr. of Talk Music Podcast. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button, that little red button on there. Just hit it. That will help me out tremendously. If you can also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, that will also help me. And if you wanted to download our podcast on Apple or Google or Amazon or even Spotify, you can check us out on there. Hope you guys enjoy the show.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, eRecordStudio, the new way musicians rehearse, record, and share their eRecord sessions on social media. Visit ERS on eRecordStudio.com. Download this amazing app on Google and Apple Apps stores.
Visit us on www.talkmusicpodcast.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download our podcast on Apple, Google, Amazon, and Spotify.